Estrangement and alienation are two very different things. And lawyers are throwing around alienation like it's freaking
candy. I was genuinely trying to be helpful. And again, last night blew up in my face.
My behaviors couldn't possibly be contributing to why this child doesn't want to spend time with me. Dad blames mom, and dad goes to the court and says, Mom is alienating that parent-child relationship. It's mom's fault. Court, punish mom. I'm Jenny Lynn.
And I'm Jen.
And we're in high conflict hell. We're talking about high conflict parenting situations. And
if you know, you know.
And let's make sure you're in the right place.
You're in the right place if you've been accused of parental alienation.
You are in the right place if you had to Google the difference between alienation and estrangement.
You're in the right place if you were excited to realize that there was a difference to explain the things you've got going on in your life.
You're in the right place if you came to an epiphany at some point that the legal community is using it everywhere.
Yeah.
But it's very rare you'll see it in any statute or law.
Right.
I mean, it's all about the kid's best interest. So that's what we're talking about today. Mm-hmm. If you can't tell yet, parental alienation. And it is literally out of this world.
Yesterday, we had like a conversation around parental alienation.
Well, because that was Daddy and Lawyer's first letter to you right out the gate. You're being accused of parent alienation and
through a campaign. That's what the motion for contempt says, is that I have created a campaign to alienate the child from the parent.
Yeah. So
we had a serious incident happen last night that completely outlines the things that are going on, which is so funny just after we had this conversation.
Right. And let's talk about what happened last night. Yeah. But first, let's talk about what parental alienation is.
Yeah.
Until I started doing some research on it, I didn't really get what the accusation was.
Yeah.
So most states don't have a single parent alienation law. The concept in general is addressed within other places of the law. Mm-hmm. And it's primarily the best interest of the child, abusive use of conflict, and custodial interference. The courts are then allowed to either create or modify a parenting plan or limit an alienating parent's time if such behavior harms the child's relationship with the other parent.
Right.
But above all, courts are focusing on the child's well-being, viewing alienation as harmful to the emotional growth. And the court may order therapy. But what I've heard is happening is if the court sides on the person that's saying they're being alienated, they will remove that child from the primary parent's custody.
Yeah.
I'm going to oversimplify this massive issue that is happening and outline a couple of instances where alienation is accused and not accurate. Of course, there's always times where kid chooses the toxic parent, kid is scared of that parent, or kid has other issues going on. But this is textbook alienation accusations where it really doesn't fit. Mm-hmm. So I've been thinking a lot about why is this term so hot right now?
Right, yeah.
Well, 10 years ago, the courts weren't defaulting to that position of it's 50-50. Now you have kids that are in a 50-50 schedule. And all the reasons why the relationship between the two adults didn't work out are now being personified with the parent-child relationship. Because that person is that person. Is it abuse? Is it narcissism? Is it toxic traits? Is it gaslighting?
Yeah.
So now kid who is experiencing this parent's toxic behavior doesn't want to go to that parent's house. It's exhausting in the best of circumstances.
Right.
And in the worst of circumstances, it's emotionally grueling. So now kid says, I'm refusing to go to that parent's house.
Yeah.
This person, I'm going to use dad. Mm-hmm. Dad doesn't believe anything I say. He doesn't ask me questions. He doesn't care about the answers. He's leaving me places. He's not reliable. Yeah. He's lying to my face. Kid is saying these things and then refusing to go to dad's house.
Yes.
Well, dad now turns and blames mom.
Mm-hmm.
Dad goes to the court and says, Mom is alienating that parent-child relationship.
Yes.
And it's mom's fault. Court, punish mom.
Yep.
My behaviors couldn't possibly be contributing to the reasons why this child doesn't want to spend time with me.
Right.
It's mom's fault. Mom has to be bad-mouthing me in front of the child.
There's nothing I've done to child to make them feel like they really don't want to be around me.
And what did happen to me is what I will say. Dad is still actively coming after mom, okay?
Yeah.
The court isn't looking at any of the behavior towards mom.
Right.
They're only looking at the behavior towards the child.
Yeah.
And what they're saying is mandated residential time back to dad. Mom's in front of the court asking for the court to limit the time because of the abuse that's occurring towards her. The court says no.
Yes.
Child goes with dad. Dad kills child.
Yep.
In Pennsylvania, it happened in California, it happened in Tennessee.
Yeah.
And
that's just places that laws have been a result
Exactly.
of that. This happens all the time.
I know. We said the only way what happened to me would be viewed as really fucked up is if he actually did it. If he actually took the guns, killed the kids, or came and killed me, then all of a sudden people would be looking at the circumstance and being like, holy shit, why did they give a man who threatened someone back all of their assault rifles?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that's like a rampant issue, but it's an issue. And I'm not saying in every situation that's the consequence. But
it is a risk. It is a huge risk.
The idea that women would just make something up just to punish the dad, to me, it just doesn't hold up.
Right.
I've been through it.
Okay.
What we know statistically is that serious, lethal domestic violence is overwhelmingly committed by men. The CDC, which is a government agency, puts that data at nearly 99%. And firearms are the most common weapon used. Yeah. I know there's outliers, but now you're in a court situation where mom is up there literally screaming. I was begging anyone to hear me.
Yeah.
Like, you think I would be doing this if I wasn't in fear for my kids?
Yeah.
At the end, my safety was on the back burner.
Yeah.
All I was worried about was protecting my kids.
Right.
And I lost up.
You knew that going up there meant that you would be putting your entire life on display to be picked apart. And it was still worth the risk.
Every text message, every parenting choice, every reaction that I had, all of it was handed over to strangers to literally judge me and put things in writing that then I do carry with me.
Right.
Worth it? Right. Absolutely. But I just wanted to paint the stage of what's happening. And it's strange to me that when women raise safety concerns, the first question is, what if she's lying? Always.
Well, in my case, if you go back and listen to the Weapons and Whiplash episode, the first statement was, you're a liar.
Yep.
The children are not saying these things.
Also, facade that this process isn't empowering.
Right.
This process is humiliating.
Yeah.
I've been made to feel that I don't know what's best for my kids, that my personal experiences are invalidated. My personal safety is not important.
Yeah.
Not only to my ex-husband or his family, but to the actual process that's supposed to protect me.
Right.
That feels like shit.
Yeah.
That's the end of that.
I feel like I've been regularly humiliated during this process, and I'm still in what I would call the infancy of this process.
Yeah.
I've just gotten mean, nasty messages from the lawyer telling me I'm a piece of shit.
And lawyers are throwing around the word alienation like it's freaking, what do you throw around?
Candy.
And what they really should be talking about is their client's estrangement. I'm not saying that's reasonable, that you're in the position to even look at your own actions, but realistically, estrangement and alienation are two very different things.
So one of these, in its true form, is something that I would argue should be dealt with in the court. The other one is something that you should be dealing with in therapy.
Right.
Oh, but only in their true form. Like, if parental alienation is really something that's happening, and I do believe it does, but on a very small scale compared to what is being accused in the courts.
You're being accused of parent alienation and
through a campaign. That's what the motion for contempt says, is that I have created a campaign to alienate the child from the parent.
Did you get donations? Is this like an election?
I don't know.
A fund someone can.
I'm hoping I can get somebody for this, but no.
And this was right out the gate that they accused you of.
Yeah, right. They need to learn the difference between parental alienation and estrangement, because I would love for my kid to leave my house. Please stop refusing to go see your father. I would love to have you go see him during his time. I want you to have a positive relationship.
Right, but you're not going to be able to cure the
Right.
harm that he has caused to her. And
Yeah.
that's the facade, that somehow this is in your power.
Right.
And if it was in your power to convince him not to behave this way because cheating and lying is harmful to a relationship, you would have done that for yourself.
Right.
You tried. It didn't work.
Yes.
I know we've already told this full story, but let's just recap it for a second.
Short version. My ex-husband has very serious issues with infidelity. And so he was in a term relationship with this woman.
He was dating her for 3 years.
Yep. And my children and him lived with her during the residential time. And so this resulted in an abrupt end to the relationship after 3 years.
Because she caught him cheating.
Yeah. And my child was witness to some of these things because of the email and the messages.
So your ex-husband bought your child an iPad, set it up, hooked it up to some iCloud account that his personal information was hooked up to. So when all of the messages loaded and all of his emails loaded, her 12-year-old had access to the details of this breakup that she shouldn't have.
Right.
There's no way she should have had access to it.
Right.
Did you tell her the details of the breakup and why they broke up?
No.
I know.
No, but I did keep going to him and saying,
it.
I kept going to him and saying, hey, you don't need to tell the kids details, but I think that our children would benefit from having a conversation with you about why you don't live there anymore. So I don't care what you do with that. You're the parent in the situation.
What was he telling? Do you know?
He said nothing to them.
Said they just all of a sudden weren't going there anymore.
So I had to handle that.
They were asking you, why are we going to grandma's?
Yes.
And why are we not going to ex-girlfriend's house?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I would tell them, she loves you. She can't wait to see you. You're going to have to talk to your dad. And so every time they would come back from his visits with them where he'd have them up at his mother's house, I'd say, hey, did you have a conversation with them? It's really hurting them. They feel the void and an absence of a person who had become a significant fixture in their lives. No, I didn't. And then it started turning into, it's none of their business. This is an adult problem. This is an adult situation.
Right. Which, honestly, it is. And it's our job as adults to approach those situations delicately and with love and care, and not hook a child's iPad up to a situation where they could literally be reading things
meant for
adults.
And I will say that the cheating and infidelity, that is an adult problem. I do not think that a child's living situation is not a child's problem.
Right.
They deserved to understand what happened there. So that's what I kept coming
and
to him
however
and saying.
He wants to frame that, that's up to him.
We love each other. We chose not to be together. I mean, I don't really give a shit.
Okay, because I know that you were given crap when your daughter found all this, that you should have talked to your daughter about when they find something not to read it.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe if as child you had some baseline knowledge of what was going on with your living situation and with your life, when you found that, maybe you would read a couple sentences. Maybe you would be like, that's not that story I heard. This is weird. And just go away from it. But when you have no base knowledge, no contextualization for anything, and then you find something, our human nature is to want to solve problems and to know why our life is going the way it's going.
Yeah. Oh, and like the therapist was trying to explain to my ex-husband with my 12-year-old, is at 12, you are starting to see all of the colors in the world. You don't just see A and Z, you're starting to see all the letters in between. So she was coming to this point in her life right when this happened, that she was starting to understand everything is not what it seems. Let me figure out my position here. Let me figure out what happened to get here. And so she's seeing these emails where he's sending raunchy text messages and she
details
sees,
about a breakup.
And not just that, but details between him and the woman that he was seeing.
What woman?
The woman that he was cheating on ex-girlfriend with.
Okay.
So she's seeing these interactions between them.
And it's not woman he's with now.
No.
It's not new fiance.
No.
This is a whole separate woman.
Yeah. And I think she saw receipts for a pretend honeymoon that they went on. So she's seeing all kinds of things that she should never have seen. And all I'm saying is, hey, you need to own this narrative. You need to help your kid through it. This is very damaging. And the result to me was this is none of her business. I don't know how she feels really, but I'm making assumptions that she felt really hurt.
Well, you're making assumptions as a woman.
And seeing how he's willing to treat other women.
Well, and not only was your dad then cheating and lying to someone you really cared about, you feel like he's cheated and lied to you.
And he ruined your living situation with someone you really cared about, where you felt safe and stable.
Yeah.
And so then he was immediately in a new relationship and immediately engaged. And my 12-year-old came to me and goes, he doesn't even have a relationship with me right now. How did he have time to have a relationship with someone else? And I tried to tell him that, and that blew up. And I think that's the start of when he started thinking about a lawyer.
In your situation, what I think happened too was that she found all those messages, right? And you were still, I would say you were defending him.
I was.
Say.
Yeah, I was.
And then
I was trying to protect their relationship.
Her dad came to pick her up and told her they were going to grandma's, and they actually went to a new fiance's house.
Yes.
And your daughter called you and was like, he's still lying to me. And I actually can't imagine how that feels.
It broke my heart. And it was that weekend that they set my kids down and said, we're engaged.
Yes. And then that weekend, so not only did he bring her someplace where she didn't want to
wanna
go, that he told her they weren't going. Then while they were there, he sat all of the kids down and basically announced his engagement to this woman.
Yeah.
Which, more power to you if you find the love of your life, and that's how it goes. But to think that those actions don't have effect on the children, to think the fact that it's your fault, Jen.
Right.
That everything we just talked about
is all me.
Because the first letter out of the gate from that lawyer to you was that you're engaging in parent alienation.
Yep.
You're creating a campaign.
Yes.
And it was interesting because the lawyer kept saying to you in emails, he doesn't even know what he's done. He doesn't even know what he's done.
Yeah.
And you didn't really respond to that. You were more just like, he does know what he's done.
Because obviously a lawyer's going to say that. I wasn't going to argue with him about that.
No, not even that.
Right.
What I believe that your ex-husband went to him and said, I didn't even do anything here.
Right.
She's
just a cunt.
That's what, that's what I believe.
Right.
So, I mean, and I could be wrong because I am actually not a psychic like Daddy.
And Daddy lawyer.
But that's what I believe happened. I think that he legitimately didn't know. And when we were talking about it, at first I was like, don't get into it because you're going to look like the jealous ex-wife.
Right.
If you start talking about how he cheated on someone and your daughter found the messages. And I'm like, we both know he knows. Why is this the first action? And why did he not set up a therapy appointment with a reconciliation counselor?
And I told him this a long time ago.
Oh,
I encouraged therapy so long ago.
But the first person he paid to address this strained relationship with his daughter was an attorney.
Right.
It wasn't, hey, I have this therapist who can help us address this strain. Let's see what we can do. And you know what? He could have done both.
Right.
He could have hired the lawyer, said, we need to get this back on track.
Yeah.
This is the consequence, is now I'm filing legal action.
Yeah.
Right? Clean your room.
Clean my room.
And at the same time, but it wasn't until you messaged the lawyer and you said, why don't they try reconciliation therapy? I've been telling him this.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, it was like, oh, yeah. And then when you
then he said it was his idea.
Oh, right. And then when you message your ex-husband about the upcoming visit, right after you get this letter from the lawyer accusing you of parent alienation and saying immediately resume all residential time, and you called him and you were like, how do you see this looking? You're the dad. How do you see forcing 12-year-old to go? What does that look like to you? You tell me your plan for this.
Yeah.
And his response was, no.
Yeah. I'm
not going to force her. So this is what we'll be interested to see because the court's response is, you, Mom, should be forcing her then. I'm going to put that on Dad.
Right.
How about Dad? You are the one who is going to be in charge of forcing her because I don't know what that looks like. I'm not putting my hands on my child.
Right.
I'm not pulling her by the hair to a car.
She has one parent that she trusts
doesn't
right
have
now.
electronics. She goes to school. She does her sports. I'm not exactly sure. Get me the parent handbook. Point me to the page where someone's accusing someone of parent alienation.
And how you go forward.
Right, where an estrangement situation has occurred and you as the mom are being blamed for something and, okay, here's what you do next. Step one. What the?
Yeah.
What the actual?
Yeah. And I can say I can sleep well at night because I really went to him genuinely so many times and was like, hey.
Okay, Jen.
Fix this. And why is that my fault?
I was just going to say that.
Why do I put that on myself?
You should sleep well at night because you've always told her it's not an option to go to your dad's. You need that relationship.
Yeah.
That's why you should sleep well at night.
Yeah.
Not because what I feel like is you went above and beyond and were like, you need to address this. This is becoming more of an issue. I'm hearing about this. Those are things that someone will accuse you of.
Right.
Triangulation.
Yeah.
Those are things that someone's going to accuse you of having a campaign against them.
Right.
This is what I personally believe. I think that because you went to ex-husband and mother-in-law and you were like, guys,
right.
this is bad. Guys, this is what I'm hearing. They thought that it was you. I think if you had said nothing to them, I think if you hadn't tried to address, it wasn't just one incident. It was a breakup, a move, no explanation, finding about cheating.
Lies
about the cheating, new fiance.
New house. No beds.
Well, and more than like, I'm not going to take you there this weekend. We're going to grandma's. Oh, no, whoops, we're going. Like, it was a series of 1, 2, 3, 4 incidences over a very short period of time where 12-year-old was all of a sudden like, I'm not doing this.
What is my reality?
Can't.
Yeah.
So then you, mom, right, trying to protect your child in the best way you know how, your protection mechanism is now being used against you as a campaign and alienation.
When I was genuinely trying to be helpful. Genuinely.
So now that child has not seen, or she's seen him, but she hasn't gone with him for a visit.
She hasn't gone with him for his residential time because she refuses.
In months.
In many months.
They are in reconciliation therapy.
Yeah, so she's seen him a few times in reconciliation therapy.
And she's also seen him. He was at your house at Christmas.
So yeah, we invited him over for Christmas, and I was really excited to see them share a couple of sentences. And I even went to him afterwards and was really happy to see that. That was great. I talked to her about it afterwards and was like, see, you were able to talk with him and be with him. And she was like, yeah, well,
okay.
Not feeling good about it. Now, I tried to be helpful again last night and it blew up in my face.
Okay, so now let's get to last night. Well, yesterday, ex-husband texts you about a hockey game.
Yeah.
A Seattle Kraken game. And Jen.
Yeah.
Before we walk through what happened last night, I need everyone in high conflict hell to know this. Everything you're about to hear, the texts, the calls, Jen repeating what the kids were saying, is a mom in real time trying to manage 3 kids, a last-minute school night hockey invite, and a child who hasn't seen their father in months. She's going to read the text messages while we talk about what happened, but this scenario of last night is what I think is now being turned into Jen creating a campaign of alienation. And compare the story you're about to hear with what we just talked about, with the specific examples of estrangement, of what's actually happened to cause this rift. Okay, so now let's get to last night.
So he texts me in the morning and says, hey, there is a hockey game tonight. Do any of the girls want to go with me and new fiance's daughter? It's a Pride Night game. And so I sent him a message back because our children are at school. I said, I'll ask them when they get home, but I don't think any of them want to be around girlfriend or her kids. And I'm telling him this because they keep coming to me and telling me that. They keep coming and saying, we really don't want to be there. So I'm trying to help him. You can have this new life and all of these things.
Well, background, we also know he hasn't been staying in new fiance's house. And so it's not just like he's there all the time. There's no way he's going to get around that. Christmas break, they didn't go to that house at all, which good in the sense of like, let them have that time.
Right.
But now you're sending me a text saying stepkid's going to go, and your response is, okay, I'll ask them, but
this is going to be a barrier for them. Yeah. So kids get home 2:30 and 3:30ish. Well, I wait for all of the kids to get home because that has refused to see him for so long gets out of school later. So I wait.
And she's also the one who really loves Pride.
And hockey. She's been dying to go to a hockey game, and they are expensive. So I wait for her to get home, and he calls one of the twins to say, hey, do you want to come with me to this game tonight? And I hadn't talked.
Okay, so the hour between when the youngest got home and the older one got home.
Yeah, so I hadn't talked to them about it yet because I was waiting to have them all there.
Okay.
And she had literally walked in the door, and they both tell him without me saying anything, oh, I'm not sure. I don't know. Can we call you back?
Because it's a school night.
It is a school night, and it's late, and my kids go to sleep early. I have a regimented bedtime.
And we're just coming off of break.
Yeah.
So they're tired.
Right. And that's okay. I don't mind. However, let's take into consideration some things and talk to them. So I can hear him, and I go, oh, hey, ex-husband, I didn't have a chance to talk to them yet because oldest kid just walked in the door. We'll let you know shortly. He says, okay. So I send him a text message that was Like I talked to the kids. I think they all want to go.
They all want to go.
Even the one
your
that hasn't.
oldest that hasn't spent any one-on-one time, let
Yeah.
alone any significant time with him, wants to go.
Yeah.
All three of them.
But she really doesn't want to be around stepkid. And so he doesn't respond.
That's
apparently.
up to you, Dad. How you want to handle that or what you want to do.
Yeah.
That's up to you.
So she goes in her bedroom and she gets the iPad that he's provided her. And she sees the message that says, hey, did you want to go to this game tonight? It's Pride Night and might be bringing stepkid. So she responds and says, yeah, I would like to go, but I really don't want to be around stepkid. And so he is...
I know. This is my fear for you because you already articulated that to him.
Right.
Just saying, be careful what you say to him.
I know.
Because
I should just be saying nothing.
Well, because you're passing along information from the kids.
Right.
Right. And out of like, hey, heads up, maybe get ahead of this.
Yeah.
And instead it's being taken that you're creating a campaign.
Every time. And that is just, I was super excited to see that she wanted to go.
Of course.
So I thought, obviously he's going to make sure that happens. And I would, if it were me, that this is just what I would do in that situation. I would actually say, screw it. The twins aren't coming and stepkid's not coming. She is excited. I'm going to go get some time with her. That would be my offer.
Well, see, I wouldn't do that. But I would probably call her.
If you hadn't seen your kid in that long.
No, I wouldn't do that. Because realistically, we're all a part of a family unit.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
right.
If you want to go, I've just invited all the kids, you know?
Yeah.
But anyways, go ahead and keep reading.
Well, I asked him, so in short, if you want me to come to you with an answer, come to me again. The kids now, they're feeling a bit confused and they're not really sure. And he responded to me and says, well, I guess I messed up because stepkid already said she wanted to go and I didn't expect oldest kid to want to go. And I said, me either. We're going back and forth. And he says, well, I was already here to get stepkid. It feels pretty shitty to say, hey, all the girls want to go. And that, to me...
Wait, I don't think he had enough tickets. I don't think he expected your oldest daughter to go. I think he only had tickets for himself and 3 others. Like, he had 4 tickets.
Yeah. To me, as a mother, that broke my heart to even read him say that because, yes, I would feel way shittier looking at my biological children.
Not kids that have been in your life for
less than a year. Yeah.
You might have put yourself in a position as the adult.
Yeah.
Where you're going to have to break a kid's heart, not purposefully.
And we know his relationship has been strained because he's been telling people that.
And he's not staying at the stepkid's mom's house, new fiance's house. And so he's clearly trying to rebuild that. So now you've put yourself in a position. What I would have done if it was me, Jen, is I would have looked at stepkid and I say, oh my God, I have an emergency at work.
Yeah.
I am so sorry, stepkid.
I'll make it up to you.
I owe you.
Let's go to the next one.
Yeah, next one's on me. I would say a white lie.
I'm an idiot, and I called him and tried to talk to him about it. And I was trying to explain that to him. And I was like, hey, here's maybe what I would do. And I said that exact thing. Hey, maybe say you had just had something at work come up.
Or you got diarrhea. Or you have a migraine. Your big toe is super infected.
Or your back hurts.
You threw your back out. Sorry. I have a list of things that could have been said.
And the point of that is to make sure that you're not hurting another child. It is not to lie to a child. But he gets so mad at me and goes, the right thing to do in that situation is not to lie. And let me just tell you, this man is the biggest liar I know.
Okay, we all know that he was lying to you when you were married about not just like lying and sleeping around.
Yeah.
He's lying to ex-girlfriend.
And is lying to fiance.
Very likely. Who knows? Maybe she's the golden one. I don't know.
I hope she is.
Me too, for her sake.
Hey.
Otherwise, she's just another one in line.
Right, and that hurts.
And it's hard as a woman to watch it happen. Okay, but here's the thing, is that you can lie to everyone else about everything else. But now here's a situation where you potentially could really hurt your child who is clearly already hurting.
No, let's say you could take the opportunity to repair something with your child.
Oh, yeah, yes, exactly. There's an opportunity now to repair that by maybe telling a little bit of a white lie. And all of a sudden now you're like the truth guy.
Right.
You're like, I'm not Pinocchio.
Yeah.
Like,
or if that's your situation, then tell the truth because stepkid knows that you have not been around. So you sit down and you say, hey, I do not want to hurt you. I am so sorry. This probably really sucks. We're going to get to the next one. But my oldest kid really wants to go and it is so important to me.
Yeah. She wouldn't understand that. But as you know, once a man starts hurting you and putting you in those kinds of feelings,
Yeah.
it is very hard to come back from.
Well, so the phone call results in him telling me this is all my fault and
how is
snapping
this your
at me.
fault?
I don't know. I didn't even ask. I was like, you make your own choices. So oldest child, in this time that I'm on the phone with him, she's having a back and forth with him. He's messaging her while he's on the phone with me.
Okay.
So I get off the phone. She comes into my bedroom and is reading me some of these messages. She wants to tell me what's being said.
Of course she does,
And
because you're
it's
her trusted adult.
awful.
How did that? Your daughter sent a text message
that she's like, I can't believe you're doing all of these things. Everybody matters more. Those kids, fiance's kids matter more than me. You prioritize them over me and my sisters. And she is just really upset. And the next message is, and all of the things that you're doing to my mom.
Which, mind
and
you,
she doesn't even know about.
Like, I would love for them to hear none of this.
Well, I went up in my office to have this conversation with her, so it was
they
private.
didn't hear any. No. So is she talking about, when she's saying, and what you're doing to mom, is she talking about the
No idea.
lawyers? No, is she
No
talking
idea.
about the fact that now mom's clearly upset
Mhm.
and what is going on? Again.
Yeah. So then I have her come to me and go, I'm absolutely not going. I told him I'm not going. And I go, okay. And then one of the 10-year-olds says, if oldest kid is not going, I'm not going. And she had done her hair so cute. She put glitter in her hair. She put makeup all
She was
on. And I was
excited.
like, no, go. And she was like, no, if oldest kid's not going, I am not going. So I call him again. I don't want to send a text message that seems mean.
That you're doing something that's alienating his
So
relationship.
I call him and I said, hey, I just want you to know that middle kid, one of the twins, said that she doesn't want to go because she only wanted to go if oldest kid goes. And he was like, oh, great. This is my fault. This is my fault. This is something you did. And I'm like, okay, bye.
Yeah.
Gotta go. So then I go out and youngest kid is still going.
Like that, because they are twins.
Yeah.
But one of them is clearly more middle child. So even though they're twins, you do call them middle and youngest.
Yeah. So the youngest is sobbing. And she was like, I don't know if I want to go. And I was like, you should go.
Yeah.
You will have a fun time with your dad. And she was like, no, I'm just not sure. I don't like that oldest isn't going now.
Oldest is walking around upset.
She tries to be so stoic and it's just all over her face. She's disappointed. She's sad. I think she was looking forward to the opportunity to rebuild a relationship. She won't say that.
Yeah, I was going to say,
but
she's not going to be that deep about it.
No,
she's going to be like, wow, that would have been fun to go to
and she's got a tough exterior.
Yeah.
So I'm just watching this all fall apart. And so I call him again and I say, hey, now youngest doesn't want to go. My goal with that conversation was for him to say, let me call her. Let me try to fix one of these things. And instead, he started yelling at me that, again, this must be something that I, mom, have done. Yeah. So, okay. I said, girls, do you want to go get ice cream after dinner? Because everyone's crying. Everyone's upset. Yeah. How can I dissipate this feeling? And everyone in my house now, and I'm sure him, all feels awful.
Awful. Yeah.
Everyone feels awful. And so then I'm sitting here thinking about all of my own experiences onto the way that you think about things. And I have serious abandonment issues. And now I'm terrified that my child feels that my oldest is feeling abandoned by her father.
Yeah. Do you think that she is? I mean, I don't want you to repeat any personal conversations, but based on your own experiences as a child, is that what you're looking at? Like, are you looking at a kid who you think is building a super tough exterior because deep down she's feeling abandoned?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I do. And it killed me to hear him talk to me like that last night, because every time that I try to talk to him about something and try to be helpful and give him a tool to understand what he is doing, he is immediately taken and made my fault. So it's happening in the court documents. So it's happening when I speak to him. It's what happened when I spoke to his mother.
Yeah.
People that have loved me and cared for me. And one of the messages that he sent to our kid is that this bad situation that's been created is because of my lack of boundaries.
Because of you, Jen, and your lack of
and
boundaries.
I wish that he would tell me what boundaries I am not respecting. But he is a person that will walk into my house, come sit at my friends' houses, uninvited houses, multiple, uninvited. He overstays his welcomes. I've never actually stepped foot into any of the houses that he's lived in.
I mean, I know what they're talking about with your lack of boundaries.
What?
The way you communicate what's going on to him via phone call or text message.
And we look at that two entirely different ways than he and I. Because
I think what's happening is historically that communication has been valued by him. He has said to you, I appreciate you telling me.
Even now he's telling me, please tell me.
Well,
he doesn't mean it.
I was going to say, Jen, he's not.
Yeah.
He might be saying that sporadically.
Yeah.
But overall, the message is stay out of it.
Yeah.
And then he's standing in your house, and then he's at Christmas, and then he's telling you, oh, wait, but now in this situation, and that is very confusing as the mom.
Right.
As that person.
Mm-hmm.
I told you I was in a situation once where my middle daughter came to me and told me she felt like her dad was a monster.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I called my ex-husband. We were still on speaking terms. And I was like, hey, I think it's really important you address this. You spend some time with her. The next week, there was a conflict that was going on between him and I.
Mm-hmm.
The children were around. And he picks up my middle daughter. And as he's holding her, he looks at me and says, who's the monster now?
Yeah.
And I was like, okay.
Immediate dagger.
An immediate dagger. And it was my lesson to me.
Yeah.
In that one moment, I was like, click.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, me communicating what our children, because we both love our children.
Right.
This is what we're both screaming, right? That we both want great relationships with our children.
Yeah.
When you're trying to hurt me, that goes out the door.
Right.
You are literally standing in front of me, hurting our child.
Right.
And a private communication was now repeated in a very public way. And on top of it, it was her birthday.
Yeah.
That this happened.
And your conversation to him wasn't, hey, everyone here thinks you're a monster. She thinks you're a monster. Your conversation is,
you should go fuck
hey,
yourself. Good luck getting a kid.
This thing happened. This is what kids said. And I want you to know because I know you're not a monster.
Right.
Here's what happened because I want you to repair this.
And it was received very well at the time.
Right.
Same thing.
Oh, yeah, but I'm like,
telling me.
God, how many times am I going to have this lesson beat into my head before it sinks in?
It's been a shift because for the last 7 years, this hasn't been the dynamic. It did take me, I would say, probably a year and a half for it to sink in.
Oh, I've got some time.
Well, you're lucky because you have me.
I am so lucky. I am.
And it won't be that easy because everyone told me all along the way, hey, Jenny Lynn, you need to stop. And every time I was like, no, I know this man.
I can help him.
I know the communication we've had.
Yeah,
I care
about him.
He trusts me when it comes to our kids.
Right.
And my opinion and what they're saying. Because like I said, there's no handbook. No one's flipping to chapter 3, page 2 on what happens when a kid thinks you're a monster. That's not a thing. So we have to all rely on our instincts and what we know to be true about our child, what we know to be true about our adult relationship.
Yeah.
And then go off of there. And when that has a monumental shift, so I'm not blaming you, Jen.
I know.
Okay. There's been a monumental shift.
Yeah.
And yes, and I do think that's when he's saying that you don't have boundaries, because that's what he texted your oldest daughter.
Right.
I'm doing this because your mom doesn't have any boundaries.
He has no
Number
boundaries.
One, let's stop putting negative things about you in writing.
Right.
Like they're accusing you of campaigning. And I know this is at least the third or fourth thing he's texted oldest child about you that is very negative.
Mm-hmm.
So hey, once again, hey, cat meet kettle.
And like, you know what? I'm not taking it to the court to ask him to provide all of those things. I'm having a conversation with my kid.
Right? Any court document, you have not been like,
no,
he's bad-mouthing me. Well,
no, because my goal is not to disparage him. And that is probably so freaking stupid of me. But I don't want to be in hand-to-hand combat with the father of my children.
And once again, if this is the crazy part, that his actions aren't the problem. It's always your reaction.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be what you're doing. It has to be what you're saying.
And the reactions of the children are my fault.
Yes, that my actions are not the source of this.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't think anything I can do is right, so that's okay.
So how are you feeling this morning after all of that last night?
Well, I'm fine, but I woke up and I just started thinking about how I feel about all of my relationships in life and how this feels like a consistent thing that women have to deal with.
Well,
whether this is an abandonment issue, whether this is feeling more important than someone else, whether this is feeling like you matter to your parents, whether you're seeking your father's validation, this is just
your partner's validation,
a universal feeling. And it's like getting a fortune cookie. Like, what are you going to get out of this? Like, you're going to have some kind of pain from this relationship. What is it going to be?
Surprise.
Be a Labubu. Is it a black Labubu? Is it the Coca-Cola Labubu? Is it?
It's not a Labubu.
Is it a skull panda?
Well, it's weird to me too, because although the exact words of parent alienation hasn't come out of my husband's mouth to me, what I have been told repeatedly, and he's emailed my lawyer this, if she can't co-parent, I'm happy to relieve her of her co-parenting responsibilities.
Yeah,
so
I
this is the
remember.
position that the court has put me in. You either communicate with your abuser how he wants you to communicate, or your punishment is going to be, I'm going to take away your parental rights. To me, even that epiphany of that is fucked up. That the court has now put me in this position where they've given him his power.
Yeah. He
Authority. Won. Yeah, he won.
Now he feels like anything could be a win.
And it's interesting because last night we also had a situation. It must be something in the moon. I need to get my crystals out. So we've had like a virus going around our house. My youngest daughter had it about a month ago, and then I got it. And it's not severe. It's kind of like a rash thing. And when my youngest daughter had it, I sent my ex-husband a message through our family wizard that was, this is what she has. This is what you need to get, because it's stuff that's not typically common that you have in the house. It's like calamine lotion and Benadryl. There's nothing the doctors can do. There's no prescription they can give you.
Here's how I've been making her comfortable.
This is how I've been making her comfortable. And the one-line response back I got was, the soccer team that you coach, the girls are out of shape and you should make them run, which I take as like calling some
bunch of kids fat and out of shape.
Yeah. And so last night it became apparent that another one of our kids had this viral infection. And the kid's calling me and she's upset, and I don't blame her because she's got a rash and it's uncomfortable. And he comes in the room when I'm talking to my kids about this virus that they have. And as soon as he's in the room, he says, "Hey, Jenny Lynn." And I say to the kid, "Hey, I got to go because I don't, this is not something I want to get into."
Right.
You know, and I say, and he's like, "No, Jenny Lynn, no, wait. I just have a really quick question for you. So if it's this viral infection, will you send me a message about it?" And I say to him, "I'd love to send you a message about it and all the things I would get and do for it, but I'm not really in a mood for a one-line sarcastic response about how a little girl soccer team is fat." And I hung up the phone and I get a message again, right?
Yeah.
About,
while she's pulling it up, let me say that first time that she sent it, it was like a very brief,
factual.
"Hey, want you to know that kid has this. This is how I've been making her comfortable. If you don't have these at your house, I would suggest you get them." It was very like,
it was direct. It wasn't.
It wasn't. I thought it
flowery.
was. I actually thought it was nice.
Yeah, it wasn't mean. That's for sure.
So love you, Jenny Lynn.
Right, dear. Thanks, dear. And so immediately I get a message that's basically like, "Hey, I'm going to keep middle child home from school." And then there's 1, 2, 3, 4 paragraphs about me as a soccer coach and what he actually meant by this message. This man has never played soccer a day in his life. He constantly, during our marriage, told me that if he played soccer for as long as I played soccer, he would have been a pro. That's how amazing she is.
She is a pro.
Yeah, right. And that he doesn't like soccer. He thinks soccer's a pussy sport, or like, but he's like, "Oh, it's just like, I played football." You know, that's the kind of mentality though.
Does he have a TBI? Is that what's wrong?
No.
Is that all these problems?
He didn't play football that long. That would be a community.
He's not a pro.
And so this message about like youngest daughter was sent like, I don't know, a month and a half ago at this point. So now I'm getting 1, 2, 3, 4 paragraphs about the one-line sentence, and I'm sorry.
And they're like, "Yeah, I did say that. Actually, they were out of shape. That's what
the message says.
Yeah,
and I'll read it, but it's about how he watched another coach take a rec team to a little kids, and they ran, and he talked to parents on the side of the field, and they all. I'm like, this
other team practices year round. Like, this is like calm rec soccer. This is supposed to be fun." And he's like, "Hey, actually, I did say that. These kids actually are out of shape and they should be winners."
We don't have that kind of relationship.
Right.
In the best of circumstances, if you were some all-star soccer coach, we still don't have that kind of relationship.
You threatened me with 2 barrels.
You come at me constantly. And aside from the 2 barrels, aside from the burning, you are still coming at me constantly.
Yes.
Everything's my fault. I'm a bad parent. I don't do this enough. I don't do that enough. This is your fault. A whole freaking graduation meltdown, all my fault.
And
I wasn't even there.
Not even anywhere near.
I hear it constantly.
Yeah.
So if you think that you really have some deep down inspiration about soccer, I don't know, write in your journal. Go to a therapist. This is not...
Sign up to be a coach on your own.
In the best of circumstances, you get a message about your child being sick, and your one-line answer is not, I'll take care of it. You still need to go to see a therapist about communication.
Yeah.
Because if you really had the best of intentions with your one-line response about a child's soccer team being out of shape, your communication skills are in literal hell.
He could have said, thanks, period, would have been sufficient. He could have said, got it.
Any acknowledgement that our child was sick and she wasn't feeling good and she went home from school all week with this
Nothing about
virus.
it.
Nothing about the child, a dig at me. And so if that's actually the way you communicate and you think that's nice, you should go talk to someone about that.
Maybe you should talk to someone.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's not the worst thing that happened to you this week, Jen?
Not the worst thing that happened to me this week is my revelations around my child's potential abandonment issues in the future.
Oh, that should be your week in hell.
Still not the worst thing.
It's not?
No.
Okay, what's this? Well, first.
Yeah, what's your not the worst thing that's happened to you this week?
Not the worst thing that happened to me was the gaslighting that I just received in that message.
About your shitty soccer coaching?
Yeah, and it's not about my soccer coaching.
No, it's not.
And it's not
not
even
at
about
all.
the context. It's the fact that I'm still in this position years later.
Right. You just feel like you're never going to escape.
It's hard to see the light at the tunnel when
Yeah.
I have a sick kid and we can't even communicate. And maybe it was my fault. Maybe I shouldn't have, but I would love to be in a position where I could send you a message about a sick kid and the response I get is not condescending.
Yeah.
Will I still send a message about a sick kid? Yes, of course I will. I just have to be prepared that that's the response I'm going to get.
Yeah.
And while I'm sitting on a phone talking to my child who is not at my house and who is sick, and you come in and start once again telling me what to do, send me a message about this. You know what? If you have a question about what's going on, or you think I have more information than you about what's going on, how about you send me a message and say, I'm concerned. Can you give me some more information?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll respond.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's not the worst thing that's happened to me.
Yeah. Okay, this week in
in
hell.
hell.
This week in hell was the situation last night about the hockey game and how everyone ended up staying home and was super upset. It was the most emotional reaction that I've seen from my kids in a long time. They were all very upset in very different ways.
Yeah.
And that was really hard. And it's hard when it's before bedtime. It's hard when we've had actually in my house mostly a really great week and it's been calm and they've been happy to be all at home. And
you know what's hard is seeing your ex-husband, the father of your kids, put someone else's kids before your own.
Right. Not only is my kid telling me that she sees that that's what's happening, she feels it. I'm also seeing that. I 100%, I see that. And it is breaking my heart. Our kids are cool. Like, I like to hang out with our kids.
Yeah. No, they're great. I love them. Okay.
I love your kids. What's your week in hell?
This week in hell. Well, honestly, not the worst thing that happened to me is actually the worst thing that happened to me.
It's both of them.
It is this week in hell. I think, what I will say is the actual context of the text messages was like the worst thing that happened to me this week. And then the realization that this is 7 years and I still have a 9-year-old.
Right.
That's this week in hell for me is
the
reminder that I'm still in this very high conflict situation years and years later.
Right.
That's this week in hell.
Feels like there's no way out.
Yeah. Like I said, I've gotten better at keeping my distance from the high emotion of it.
Yeah.
But I still get there. I mean, I care so much. I've said this a million times. I wish I didn't care so much.
Yeah.
I wish I didn't love my kids.
Yeah, I wish we didn't care about our kids to want to have them,
like,
for them to have safe places to be.
I don't need to stand in front of a mic and say how much. Like, I compare it though, like to like, do you love your arm? Like, I don't love my arm. My arm's a part of me. Yeah, they are just me. Like, they are.
They're an extension of you.
They're an extension of me. They're my world, and I'm getting all emotional about how much I love my kids because it's brutal to watch this happen and to be a part of it, like, and wanting so bad to change the dynamic and not knowing how,
Yeah.
and feeling like everything I do is, I mean, I guess
wrong.
in saying that to him, I'm hoping that like at some point he has some kind of, epiphany, but the 4 paragraphs I got back about soccer doesn't make me hopeful for
Doubling down. Yeah, he needs a therapist.
that. All right. Well,
All right.
we'll see you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday. See you over the
Bye.
fence.
See you over the fence.